I think also you guys probably should have talked about fixed ratio, variable ratio, fixed interval, and variable.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go over that.
Yeah, probably should go over that. Okay, so we got fixed ratio. I'm just gonna abbreviate and call it FR. We got variable ratio, which is VR. We've got fixed interval, FI, and we've got variable interval, VI. So how can you describe these in just super basic layman's terms?
A fixed ratio is like a set amount of actions equal one reward.
Okay, so that's the definition that's probably in your book, or that your teacher gave you. Now, in your own definition, what does fixed ratio mean?
The definition that the teacher gave me is 3 bar presses equal 1 reward.
Okay, so what do you think that means?
A set number of actions equal a reward.
Right, so set number of actions equal reward. Okay, now what about variable ratio?
It's not a set, it's still a number of actions, just not a set equal a reward.
Okay, so I like to call variable random.
Okay.
I like to call fixed a set number and variable is random. So we got random number of actions equal reward. So R reward.
This has to do with classical condition. No, this is still operant.
This is still operant condition, right? Okay, now what about fixed interval?
It's a set amount of time.
Right.
Before you get the reward.
Set number of time equals reward. Okay, now what about variable interval?
A random amount of time equals reward.
Right, exactly. Okay, and I don't know in your guys' book if you have the graph that they use in this one, but it kind of looks like this. And so first we're going to draw fixed ratio, which you see a pretty steady incline, but like sometimes you'll flatline for a while, and then you'll start to see an upgrade, and then like another flatline, and then up again. Okay, so this is fixed ratio, and this is
like consistency of getting a response.
right. So this is like the responses that you'll get with the fixed ratio. So this doesn't have to do with getting the reward, but this is the response. Like if the person's going to keep, like did you guys train the chickens?
Attempted to.
Okay, attempted to, right. So fixed ratio, this has to do with, okay, the chicken's going to peck like 10 times, then we'll give it a piece of food. But like right here is where the bird just got really bored and it's like, I don't want any food anymore. Like I'm going to get it every time I do 10 times. Like that's kind of lame. So that was that one. And then we have variable ratio, which kind of looks more like this. It doesn't look like that. It looks like this.
Not as consistent.
Right. No, this one is more consistent. So this one is it just doesn't increase as much. It kind of looks like this the whole way up.
Okay.
And so this one is variable ratio. And this one just keeps the person interested because they don't know how many pecks with the chicken. They don't know how many pecks they're going to have to do to get a reward. Like maybe one time it's like 2. And then the next time it's like 10 times. And then they'll get one and like, oh, okay, 10 times. Maybe like if I do 10 times and so they start to go for 10 times and like 3 times and then they get a piece of food. It's just, it keeps the
Yeah, on your
person
toes.
interested. Exactly, keeps you on your toes.
Okay.
And then we have fixed interval. And so fixed interval is going to look like this. It's going to have lots of flat lines, kind of like that.
Okay.
And so this is fixed interval. And so this means that they're not going to have to really do any actions and they're still going to get the reward no matter what.
Mhm.
So they know like every 2 minutes, okay, I'm going to get a piece of food. I don't even have to peck the button anymore. I just can stand here and I'll get it in 2 minutes. And then we get to variable interval, which is more just kind of a straight line. Like there's some pecks, there's some not. They don't really know when they're going to get it, but they know that they still don't have to do it and they'll still get rewarded. So looking at these, which one looks like the most consistent and probably the best type of operant conditioning that you'd use?
The variable ratio.
Right. So the fixed ratio, it has the most amount of responses and it will go up the fastest. But if you want to keep the interest, you're going to keep using variable ratio because it's just going to keep the person on their toes and going to want them to keep doing the same action because they never know when they're going to get rewarded. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so the least effective is the interval variable.
So both of these ones are the ones that you don't want to use because it doesn't really need a response. They're going to get rewarded no matter what.
Wait for the time.
And I'd say, personally, I'd say that variable interval is the worst one to use.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to take pictures of any of this stuff?
No.
No, okay. Alright, so there's those two.